So here's the latest project I've been working on. Hopefully it's going to be a small PCB CNC machine. Give you some idea of scale. Here's it's completely designed with the exception of the motor mount. I still need to find out what I'm going to use for a spindle. Be it Dremel or whatnot. I can't decide whether to use a shafted Dremel and just attach the shaft here, or whether to use like a small Dremel. So this is just a temporary plate. It'll bolt on to the Z-axis. This plate comes off, and then the carriage accepts 4 bolts. I should be able to make an interchangeable print head, and this should be a very small 3D printer as well. So the Z-axis has about 4 inches of travel, which I think is pretty decent. Like I said, it's mainly to try to do some CNC of printed circuit boards. I've got it's going to have 3 NEMA 17s. One will go up here for the Z. Here's the X. Here's the Y. I tried to keep it real cheap. Right now, you know, I've got about $20 in filament in it. It's pretty much a full roll of filament as it is. It's actually 2 half rolls of filament. I ran out halfway through printing the deck, so you can see that the deck is actually part blue, part white. I ran out of blue. The shafts are 3/8 aluminum rod from Lowe's. There's about $10 in shafts, and then the all thread. They're $1 a piece. Those are 1/4 inch by 1 foot all thread rods. So, barring screws, which I mostly already had, I got $30 in it. I'm gonna borrow steppers from my 1-up or my 2-up, which I really don't use much anymore now that I have the G-Tech running. This is a one-piece print for the Z tower. There's no way I could ever produce this on the 2-up. That is pretty much the largest print that I will be able to get off of that printer, though. This is pretty much the nominal distance that I can print. I could go a little wider still. And I've got 3 parts to get to my Z carriage. And these are bolted together with some longer screws. I'm using polytube for couplers between the steppers and the threaded rod. It works out pretty well, I have to say. It's nice and snug. It turns really well. I have actually run this stepper and moved the Y-axis. All in all, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, about 15 or 16 parts at this point. About 8 prints. Oh, the bearings. You know, again, I kind of cheaped out. I'm just using some 3D printed linear bearings. I've made them specifically for this 3/8 rod. I mimicked the design that a lot of people are using on that people are loading to Thingiverse. I just drew my own to fit this 3/8 rod. This aluminum rod in short lengths, it's fine. I mean, it's totally fine, and it's real smooth. You know, I'm not going to be using it outside, so I'm not really worried about scale and corrosion. But it's much more precision than, say, drill rod. And, you know, again, I got like $10 in it, whereas it would cost about $20 for one precision ground rod. And it's super easy to cut with a hacksaw, and then you can file them to a nice clean edge pretty easily. But I've still got to get my tool plate made, figure out what I'm going to use for a spindle, and then I got to drive the thing. I have an extra ramps board and an extra Arduino Mega. I have to figure out. A lot of people are using Marlin, but because the G code is the same, and people are trying to use Repetier Host, but I don't know how to approach the fact that my Z-axis is negative. Yes, I can. I would have to actually draw the circuit board in negative in order to do that, though, and then just toggle the logic of my Z-axis. So I need to figure out how to do that, and what kind of open source CNC software is available out there. I may end up running this thing off of an Uno with a Gerber shield, and apparently there are some open source CNC programs that'll run with the Arduino and the Gerber shield. But I will keep you guys updated. I think this is going to be a fun little project, and pretty easy assembly, and kind of fun to design. I got bed leveling ability, although I could make these screws a little longer to give myself more adjustment. I don't think it's going to need a whole lot once it gets set up, though. Well, that's my CNC.